Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Diego Dario.
We bring you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Bea Diaz-Fabros. In tonight's Game Plan, we'll discuss some early predictions in the Premier Volleyball League 2022 Open Conference. Plus, we'll take a sneak peek inside the bubble of the PLDT high-speed hitters.
And we'll break down the epic 50-point performances in the past few weeks of NBA regular season action. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. The PVL 2022 Open Conference has spiked its way into the hearts of fans. Now that all teams have played at least a single game, it's time to make some early season predictions. Here to help us is our legendary volleyball analyst, the one and only Mosey Ravenna. Tita Mosey, welcome back to the game. Last time na nandito ka, ako rin yung nandito.
Hi, Mosey. It's nice to see you.
Exactly, and grabe yung legendary.
Legendary naman talaga
talaga.
si Tita Mo. Alright, so before we ask for a little bit of some hot takes from Tita Mosey, let's talk about the game today. Of course, muna. First game, Chocomucho versus Black Mamba Army. Chocomucho getting that in 3 sets, and then Kat Tolentino winning the player of the game. She just played for 2 sets, pero still the player of the game.
Well, alam mo, Chocomucho nga, in the off-season was quite busy, no? Getting 6 new players. Siyempre, si Coach Oliver, I think, was looking for his mga pieces na missing in the absence of Maddie Madayag. So, he was able to get Ogonzane and Nunag in the middle. Sa kanya kasi parang I think good problem, no? Because it's really how you can utilize all these big-time names, diba? Big-time players. And also siguro yung quick adjustment ni Des Cheng at saka ni Ogonzania dun sa system siguro ni Coach O. Pero kanina parang hindi naman siya problem.
Walang problema.
Alam, wala
Sobrang
naman,
cohesive,
yeah.
And ang ganda rin nung win ni, nung last point nga ni Dina Wong also, very smart play. Pero we move on to the next game which is ongoing right now between F2 and Cherry. Just a quick statement about it. Who do you think is gonna end up winning that one?
Well, alam mo, yung F2 is really showing us na ano talaga sila. It's a strong team, good as advertised. And I think they will just get better and better. And against Cherry Tigo naman. Cherry Tigo kasi is also a strong team. When you see yung mga players nila, and it's a complete team. But parang in their last game, I see na medyo hindi pa organized inside the court. So I guess they have to organize themselves inside bago sila siguro para maximize nila yung mga attackers nila. Kasi nga sayang, you have Dindin, di ba? You have Mylene Paa, who's really playing so well, like crazy
with her
after the
international
Thailand stint. So sayang, di ba? So I guess siguro yun, especially on defense, siguro ang kailangan nila.
Well, on that note, Mosey, I know you have a lot of early predictions in the
Yun, ang gusto natin
PVL.
marinig
So
from Tita
let's see
Mosey.
it here in this segment that we call the PVL 2022 Open Conference. Just started, but okay, so on that note, Tita Mosey, let's start off with the first team. You mentioned already the F2 Logistics Cargo Movers. Now, they're as good as advertised. You know, this team has been together for so long already, even outside of the PVL. But you mentioned that the F2 Cargo Movers can be dominating. Can you expound on on that statement?
Well, let me make it clear. Tatlo yung hiningi nyo sa akin, just to be fair. Well,
That's the first one.
Well, yeah, that's the first one. So, yung F2 nga I said, parang they will just get better and better kasi you can see their flow inside, talagang very fluid. And yung confidence nila both in offense and defense, clearly you can see it. And parang nga minsan hindi mo na napapansin yung errors nila eh. Sa sobrang ganda nila tignan inside.
Correct.
And definitely, syempre, inaral nila, no? Yung syempre, kind of game in the PBL. So I guess, yun nga, lalo na, imagine mo, hindi pa naglalaro yung long-time setter nila na si Kim Fajardo. So, expect really good things coming from F2. Kaya sinabi ko nga, parang medyo dominating at this point.
Yeah, Mosey, I think you'll like this next question. Do you see them dominating in Pool A together with Signal, Army, Chocomucho, and Cherry?
Yeah, I feel that's the stronger pool, no? And pwede naman.
Why not, right?
Pwede naman.
And you know what's even scarier is that when KKD was interviewed yesterday, she said that parang they still need to be able to gel more. So with their performance, hindi pa siya super satisfied. So, you know, sky's the limit for F2. Now, let's move on to the next team, the Signal HD Spikers. Now, they're one of the teams that, you know, really revamped their lineup. But with their game versus Cherry Tigo, you know, it didn't seem like that was a problem. You mentioned, Mosey, that Signal can be front runners. Why did you say that statement?
Well, ako pa lang when I saw the lineup of Signal, I think sila rin, naging busy off-season.
Yeah.
Di ba? Getting big-time players like Pia Meneses, Malina, and tumingan, bonus pa, may Angeli Araneta Capana who really played efficiently di ba, in yesterday's game. So, nakikita ko rin sila na, and Rachel Dakis, I mean, like parang old Rachel.
At 34 years old, parang prime pa din niya.
Di ba yung parang renewed spirit? I think yung training niya off-season with Alohi's dad, I think in the United States, really helped her in her parang hindi bago, college Dakis.
College Dakis.
College Dakis. And also si Coach Shaq, I felt na maganda yung communication niya with the team. Siguro most probably because also yung mga new members of the team was under him one way or the other, parang at one time, diba? So it was parang easy for him to coach them. And he really felt that in that game.
And medyo may familiarity
yes,
na rin, that's
exactly.
for sure. Iba yung pagkakilala mo na yung coach tsaka yung players, right? So, do you think with this Signal team, well, marami namang may bagong players sa PVL Open Conference this year, but do you think they will go as far as going into the semis this conference?
Grabe talaga yung mga
questions para kay... Ready talaga kay Tita Mosey.
Pwede pa rin yan talaga.
Hindi yes or no
Walang yes or no, Tita. Pwede.
Oo, yes.
Yes, for sure, yeah.
But, you know, I guess Signal is just proving that, you know, despite the revamp of players and despite the short period of time to be able to prepare, they can still be cohesive on the court. And speaking of cohesion, the last team that we will be talking about is the Creamline Pool Smashers. And wow, yesterday they had that straight set win. You mentioned, Mosey, that the Creamline Pool Smashers is as cohesive as ever. Do you think that, you know, they can go all the way once again in this tournament?
Well, you know, aside from the returning Mama Phil, Cayetano, di ba, there was really no movement in sa Creamline. So, but as we saw them yesterday, in yesterday's game, nakita mo na the old players came back with parang a better skill set, di ba? Especially Tots Carlos na parang niyabangan pa tayo ng mga bago niyang di ba? Mga variations sa attacks and yung mga talagang powerful kills. So, which talagang naman nakatulong sa kanila, no? And also, yung siguro, I think, in that game, yung hours and hours of togetherness, especially, lagi sila nagbobubble, na it really showed in that win. And of course, syempre, people are also, Alyssa is still in her element, di ba? At least hindi lang yung much load. Pero you still see na si Alyssa contributes a lot. Mukhang hindi naman siya masyadong nakulong sa bahay. Hindi nakaabek masyado.
And I think, you know, nakatulong din yung 4 to 5 months na makadevelop yung mga players and yung chemistry din nila. Pero let's go back to the, you know, mga questions natin dito. For Creamline, of course, they swept their first game. Do you think they will be able to sweep Pool B together with Petrogas, PLDT, and Valleypure? Sweep na to, hindi lang dominate.
Sweep daw
Ano mo yung mga questions yung pag ako, hindi ko ba talagang lagot ako But pwede pa rin yan. You know, I say that because we're early on pa lang naman in the tournament. And you have to remember, una, mabilis to. Di ba? Mabilis na. Single round lang tayo. So, each of the teams, siguro yung quick adjustments nila will really be key. Siguro from lessons na nakuha natin in the last conference. Yung game plan ngayon, I think marunong na yung mga coaches, no? Hindi na lang game per game. Siguro buong elimination, may game plan na sila. Who to use, paano ang rest and recovery, yung mga ganyang things, ano. So, yung team na I think na, yung ganon, yung may mahabang game plan. At siguro kaya talaga nag-beef up yung ibang team para 'di ba in certain times kung sino yung gagamitin. So I think yun yung talagang magiging malakas in the end. So lahat to, ano pa sa atin? I'm sure may mga mangyayari pang
Correct.
mga
One game
events.
each pa lang eh.
That's
Oh.
right. You know, I know we're all very much excited for the PVL. As we mentioned, you know, it just started. But thank you so much for your early predictions, Mosey.
Thank you. Ano sabi, ikaw daw yung malaking volleyball fan. So thank you, Bea.
Yes, I am a volleyball fan as well, even if I do play basketball. So yeah, thank you so much, Mosey. But you know, we are all excited. And speaking of excitement, the PVL action continues on Sunday. Pool A continues their games as Signal challenges F2 Logistics at 3 p.m. And at 6 p.m., we'll throw it back to the 2021 Open Conference semis as Cherry faces reinforced Choco Mucho. Catch the PVL 2022 Open Conference live on One Sports, One Sports Plus, and via streaming on Signal Play and Smart Giga Play. Now, after the break, IE Tinsai takes us inside the bubble of the PLDT high-speed hitters. Stay tuned, you're watching The Game.
What's up, PVL fans? I'm IE Tinsai and welcome to the Bubble Invasion, where we will try to get a sneak peek inside the training of your favorite teams. Halika na't samahan ninyo ko i-invade ang training ng PLDT high-speed hitters. Ano pang hinihintay nyo? Tara! Miss Timac, how does it feel to play for the team again?
I'm super excited po na maglalaro na ulit kami. And then, ngayon na masabi ko na ready kami para sa new season ng PVL.
Yes po. And what are the biggest changes? Kung may mga malalaking pagbabago talaga na nakapag-adjust kayo through this training, ano po yun?
Actually, lahat. Kasi lahat kami madaming bago sa team, bago ang system ni Coach George. So, lahat kami nag-a-adapt. So, hopefully, magawa namin yung mga natutunan namin sa training sa game. Ayun.
And meron po tayong mabilis na fast talk. Kasi fast talk lang po. Number 1, training sa umaga or training sa gabi?
Umaga.
Okay. Conditioning or kain?
Conditioning.
One thing about your team that motivates you?
Ang hirap naman. Nashock ako. Wala man choices.
Ano po, yung family, yung dynamics, yung gelling, yung communication?
Siguro more on sa family.
And power po or speed?
Speed.
Iniidolong athlete?
Right now. Local or
Pwede po kahit international.
Rafael Nadal.
Yun. And celebrity crush, para lang sa fans.
Celebrity crush. John Lloyd Cruz.
Yun. At saka last but not the least, kung rookie po ako, tuturuan niyo ako ng favorite niyong position. Paano niyo po i-demonstrate sa akin?
Kailangan lang po triangle yung hand mo. Yan. Then, bend. Kailangan naka-bend yun. Then, sabay.
Wala po talaga akong pag-asa. Ayun po, we have D-Mac of the PLDT High Speed Hitters. Thank you po. Jules, how does it feel to officially become a pro with PLDT?
It's so exciting and I'm so blessed because especially in this time of the pandemic, I'm able to be given this opportunity to play as a pro player.
Yes, and how is it training with your teammates and under Coach George?
It's really fun and nakaka-excite to wake up every morning because I know I'm gonna learn something new every day.
We have a very fast talk, so all you have to do is to answer. Okay, number 1, training sa umaga or training sa gabi?
Training sa umaga.
Okay, secondly, conditioning or kain?
Kain!
Okay, third, just one word about your team that you love the most.
Welcoming.
Ayun. And number 4, if you were to pick power or speed?
Speed! High-speed hitters!
Ayun. If you have a favorite viral dance, what would it be?
It's probably the like that from TikTok.
Okay. And if you have a secret talent for the fans, what would it be?
Secret talent? I don't... Dancing.
Wow! Ayun, abangan niyo siya. Oh. And lastly, do you have a nickname for your teammates?
Teammates from my teammates, their
Yeah.
nickname to me?
Yeah.
They have a lot. They call me Jules, Julius, Julian Marie, Julia. Basta kung ano maisip nila. Yun.
What's your favorite nickname?
Julius.
Julius. Okay. Pero teammates sila ang pwedeng magsabi nun, ah. Ayun. And your message to the fans who are waiting for you?
I'm so excited to play again. I hope you support me and the team. And yeah, kita-kita tayo.
Thank you! Tika, ano yung feeling maging high-speed hitter? Kasing bilis mo na ba si Flash or si Dash na Incredibles?
Pwede both. Pero yeah, sobrang excited din talaga ako kasi this time, iba na rin talaga yung mga kasama ko and so far, pero usog, maganda talaga ginagalaw namin.
Yes, nakita ko nga. And gusto ko lang din tanungin, ano yung biggest challenge mo for this training?
As I always say naman, yung system ng coaches, especially Coach George, and kung paano kami adapt agad-agad sa mga pinapagawa ng coaches. So I think yun talaga yung biggest challenge for me and for everyone in the team.
Meron tayong very fast talk. Training sa umaga or training sa gabi?
Training sa umaga.
Conditioning or kain?
Ha? Bakit mo ko pinapapili doon?
Pwede naman both.
Baka nakikinig yung coaches ko sa conditioning.
Wow! Okay. Meron ka bang celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush. Korean.
Pwede Korean, pwede Oppa.
Song Joong-ki.
Wow!
Yes.
Ayan. And do you have a nickname for one of your teammates or do they have a nickname for you?
I call me and Mendres main.
Ang cute. Ayan. And if you have a favorite viral dance, ano yun?
Sorry, I don't dance. Hindi
Okay.
ako...
Favorite volleyball drill na lang.
Favorite volleyball drill? Service.
Service.
Yeah.
Pag ganun yun, di ba?
Practice ka.
Kailangan ko talaga mag-practice. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ai-Tensai and this has been Bubble Invasion with...
PLDT High Speed Hitters.
There! Thank you!
Thank you.
Now, when we return, we'll talk about the epic 50-point performances from your favorite NBA superstars in the month of March. Stay tuned, you're watching the game.
time to shift over to hoops, and our first stop is the PBA Governors Cup with the latest from today's game. The Meralco Bolts defeat San Miguel as they advance to the semifinals. They were led by Tony Bishop with 32 points, 16 rebounds, and 4 assists, and Chris Newsom with his breakout game with 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. They booked the first seat in the semifinals. Now, Jegs, it was a game that was definitely well prepared by Coach Norman Black, especially after that last game in the elimination round where they lost and Muhammad scored 57 points in that game.
Well, I agree. You know, they really prepared for Shabazz Muhammad. He only scored 24 points today. They really did a great job defensively. And also in that fourth quarter, they really took control of the ball game. Tony Bishop hitting his perimeter shots and Newsom really leading the way for the Meralco Bolts. But that's correct, Bea. He scored 57 points in their last game. And talking about 50-point performances, on that note, let's move on to the NBA regular season, where the league is having their own version of March Madness with epic scoring performances almost every other game day. And since we are always a fan of 50-point performances, we're joined by Mr. Hot Takes himself, Jello Vito. Jello, welcome to the game. Welcome back.
Hi, Jello. Welcome back.
It's good to be back.
All right, let's start off with a couple of guys on the 50-point performance list, Jello. This month, we had first Jason Tatum, who had his 50-point game, fourth 50-point game, second for this season. Karl-Anthony Towns, who had crazy game for Karl-Anthony Towns, 60 points and 17 rebounds. Saddiq Bey also with crazy numbers. That was just today. Who surprised you the most out of these three players?
I mean, everyone was very, very impressive. It's not always you'll see a 50, 60-point game.
Yeah.
But yung medyo unexpected for me talaga si Saddiq Bey.
Ooh.
Saddiq
To be
Bey.
honest, Jello, when I was looking at this, sabi ko kay Jeg, siguro naman hindi niya pipiliin si Saddiq Bey just because, you know, they're already the in terms of team standings,
Yeah.
they are already 14th in the standing. But why did you choose Saddiq Bey out of all of
So
them?
it's again between Karl-Anthony Towns and Jason Tatum. I mean, alam nyo na they would really score at least 50. I mean, they would get buckets talaga. But
Yeah.
with Saddiq Bey and ngayon yung Detroit is medyo sa baba ng standings. I mean, he's trying to be that guy for Detroit, and second year niya pa lang, and he's been very impressive.
Okay, so, well, you know, that's right. He did have those 10 three-point shots in just 39
That's what he
minutes
does.
of
Yeah,
action.
yep.
So I guess, you know, despite them being 14th in the standings, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about their performances themselves. So I have to agree with you on that note. But let's move on to the next team. Let's talk about the Brooklyn Nets. Now, their pair of superstars in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant have had their own share of 50-point performances.
Grabe,
As we take a look
grabe.
at it, Kyrie Irving, he had two 50-point performances against the Hornets and then had 60 points against the Magic. And then we have Kevin Durant dropping 53 points against the New York Knicks. Now, what can you say about their stellar performances this March?
Wow. Scary hours for the Nets
Yeah.
right now. Wala pa yung Ben Simmons dyan. And right now, they're peaking at the right time. I mean, nakikita nyo na yung glimpse of the real Brooklyn Nets with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving really showing everyone na they're the real deal. Kahit sabihin mong they're 8th in the standings right now, come on. They're the Brooklyn Nets for a reason. So very, very exciting to see them moving forward.
Well, the talent level is there for sure. That was Kyrie's 5th career 50-point game. Kevin Durant's 8th overall 50-point game. And I think they're the first duo to ever do it in consecutive games,
yeah.
right? So Kyrie first and then KD. It's just really crazy how talented this team is. But let's move on to one guy who has talent, that's for sure. Last but not the least, King James, who has been the only bright spot for the Lakers this month, dropping a pair of 50-plus games of his own. You know, he became the 4th oldest player in history to top 50 points. So that's crazy. Are we still surprised at what LBJ is doing at 37 years old in his 19th season, Jello?
Alam mo, I'm not really impressed. I'm super duper impressed with him. You know, being the oldest guy, one of the oldest guys to score at least 50 in the league, in league history, I mean, he's got nothing to prove. Wala na siyang kailangan i-prove. Again, LeBron's gonna be LeBron. I mean, he's gonna do what it takes to get out of that slump for the Lakers, and I really think na moving forward, I think, ito hot take to, I think he's gonna get another 50-point game this season.
Okay,
Well,
Jess.
I think that with the way he's performing, despite the Lakers, being in that slump and, having that subpar performance, he's been leading the Lakers, trying to put them on his shoulders. But, we always talk about LeBron James in that GOAT topic and GOAT conversation. Do you really think that, with his performances, he is supposed to be in that GOAT conversation?
Mabigat yung
A hot
tanong
take
yan.
to, Jello.
Tanong na yan, but yeah, he's already there naman sa conversation ng GOAT. But again, ang laging sinasabi nga nila, if he surpasses Karl Malone or even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the all-time leading scorer, I mean, baka lang naman na pwede na siyang sabihin natin na the greatest of all time.
Actually, may isa pa akong question for you. Hot take din to eh. Do you think...
Ay, ready kami, Jello.
Wait, at this pace
Yeah.
with LeBron, do you think that LeBron James will win the scoring title this season? It is really a close battle, between LeBron, Joel Embiid is there also.
I mean, kaya niya. I mean, again, with the pace that he's going through, yung level ng competition na pinapakita niya right now, talagang doon na siya papunta. I mean, even though they won't make it to the playoffs, or what.
Grabe naman yun.
Pero again, LeBron being the greatest athlete right now, I think he can.
Well, honestly, with LeBron James at this point, honestly, kaya niya rin gawin to even way back eh. He's just doing it now, I think, because he needs to in order for the Lakers to win. Before, he would get his assists, get his rebounds. Pero yung aggressiveness ni LeBron, do you think magiging sustainable to? Let's say he has 3 or 4 more years with the way that he's playing now. Do you think magiging sustainable to for his career?
I mean, the way he takes care of his body and syempre, lumalabas dyan yung load management and all of that, I think he can. Kaya pa niya. But syempre, at his age, syempre, pa-decline na rin ng pa-decline yan. But I really think he's still gonna be the best out there.
Well, I mean, it's great that we still see the greatness of LeBron James, even if, he's almost 20 years already in the NBA. But I would like to disagree with you, Jello. I still do hope that they the Lakers will still get into the playoffs.
May chance pa din.
May chance pa din, pwede pa din naman. But on that note, Jello, thank you so much. We really appreciate your
Thank you
hot
so much.
takes every time here on The Game.
Thank you guys.
Now, thank you for joining us. That's all that we have for tonight. I'm Bea Diaz Fabros.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Diego Dario, and this has been The Game.